Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar, What Do You Do When Engineers Can't Find Product Data? My name is Madeline, and I'm today's moderator. I'm joined by Curtis, our Director of Technology and Webinar Master Presenter, and Dan, our Applications Engineer and resident NX and Solid Edge Guru. He'll be joining us at the end for questions. So just a quick agenda of what we're looking at today. We're going to start out with a little bit about us. We're Geometric Solutions, and so we're going to tell you a little bit more about who we are and how we can help you. And then we'll jump into our main topic, Teamcenter, specifically how Teamcenter is a single source of information and how it can help you find the data you are looking for and distinguish between outdated versus up-to-date information. Our presenter today is Curtis, our Director of Technology at Geometric Solutions. Curtis has more than 30 years of experience in manufacturing technology. Curtis has been at the forefront of digital simulation, specifically related to virtual prototyping and dimensional quality. He is recognized internationally as an expert in digital simulation using 3D tolerance analysis simulation tools. He has experience using all the major CAD platforms, all the major PDMs, different CAE tools, and multiple digital simulation applications. As you will see, Curtis enjoys the blending of new technology, software, and best-in-class processes, all while driving the need for quality, resulting in the reduction of overall costs. As for a quick intro into who we are, we're part of the Waltonen family of companies made up of Waltonen Engineering, Geometric Solutions, and Independence Tooling. We're all located throughout the Midwest. Our story is pretty simple. Waltonen develops innovative engineering solutions using Siemens software. We got so good at it, Geometric Solutions started selling the same potential for success in the form of Siemens software. So when it comes to implementing and optimizing these solutions like an expert, Geometric Solutions can get you there. And now I'm going to turn it over to Curtis. Curtis, take it away.
Hey, Madeline, thanks for that introduction. So we're here today to talk about, finding product data and having engineers be able to track it down and make sure they can use it and using the right version. So I'm going to go through a couple of quick facts here. According to Tech Clarity, they had a survey with over 2,000 different manufacturers. They say best-in-class manufacturers spend 25% less time on non-productive data management tasks. So, there's a lot of time that isn't used productively. If we equate that to a month's worth of time, they're spending more than 1 day a week on non-value-added activities. So, what we want to do is try to minimize that and make it more value added. So, whatever CAD tool you're using, you may think the system you have today to find, share, and reuse designs is good enough. Let's consider what a strong PDM can do to streamline product and development and drive better business excellence. But at a fundamental level, we're going to be talking about PDM, Product Data Management Systems, and what it offers. Data control and access rights to protect your intellectual property, effective search to drive reuse, workflows to streamline efficiency, and the ability to share data and collaborate business-wide, supporting multi-CAD designs, improving quality, and tools to reduce errors and speed time to market. It's about time. The time your engineers waste today searching for and recreating product designs and data. The time you spend on interruptions from other people across your business who need access to those designs and data. And it's about getting that time back. According to Tech Clarity, those 2,000 manufacturers they asked for, that could be 25% of their time, and we want to get it back. So let's talk about how we do that. So the first thing we want to do is talk about what is PDM, product data management. You may think you have, the system you have today is easy to find, share, and reuse your designs, and it's good enough. But let's consider what a strong PDM system can do to you to help streamline your product development and drive business excellence. At a fundamental level, PDM offers control of your data. You'll be able to find it and share it with everybody. So let's just talk about what is PDM and compare it to PLM, which is product lifecycle management. So what is PDM? Basically, it's controlling your data, product data management. So your design, your CAD, your drawings, supporting documentation for it. You know, if I'm doing a new design, I might have a design DFMEA, or I might have a FEA model, a structural analysis model. Then reports, those documents support the design. Then I also have a bill of material for that design. And then we have workflows to route the information from person to person to make sure it gets to everybody and everything gets completed. So that is what a PDM is. It's managing your product data. Now, what is PLM? Product Lifecycle Management. Well, it builds on this foundation. This foundation here, the PDM, is the foundation of the PLM system. And then on top of that, we can, enhance this. We can add ways to track requirements from upfront and make sure they're executed in the design. We can add service, and we can actually. I'm going to pick the aerospace industry. For every tail number on a plane out there, they actually have service records of what it was in for, what it got repaired on, what they replaced it with, and they track the actual bill of material that's in the plane right then and there. Because if something gets updated, they want to know that and track it. Manufacturing and the MBOM and making sure that they know what Op 10, Op 20, Op 30 is for their operations to make the product. Supplier integration so they can see your things, so we're expanding it. We're giving it the life cycle of the product. In addition, we can, really enhance this by, we can take quality data and put it in there so I can actually see how well my parts are performing compared to my spec. And I can actually see that daily and as it improves through a PLM system. Costing, sustainability, other systems, the manufacturing floor, there's ERP systems and MES systems. ERP systems track what's going to be made, and the MES system, the manufacturing execution system, is how it's being executed. We can tie PLM into those and have these things talk to each other. So we're actually getting into the manufacturing of what's coming up and what's going to be made and how it's being made at the current moment. So, PLM is the life cycle of the product, but PDM is just managing the data that is the foundation for PLM, and everything builds on top of that. So let's just talk about that. So PDM, managing today's product is just not as simple as keeping track of your design data. Other information such as documentation, supplier data, manufacturing information, customer requirements, and more all have an impact on what an engineer needs to do. In many cases, engineers find themselves searching through irrelevant information to find the design data they need to work on. And once they find something, sometimes it's out of date or obsolete. And, is it, excuse me, the right piece of information? They often struggle to figure out, how it got to this point. Why was this piece added to my assembly? And, where do I go from there? So these are, common questions that are happening out there. Many times, I've actually worked in many different file systems over my career. I've actually go into a drive and look at something, and I see two copies of something, and I don't know which one is the latest, because they're both named the same thing. They're just in two different directories, but they're two different files. So, it's a challenge to make sure people have the right information to work on, and then what they should do with it. So that's what we're here to talk about, is how we can help that. So with PDM, engineers can quickly find and easily find exactly what they're looking for. In addition to that, they can understand the contents of what you're working on without wading through irrelevant information. So, these pieces of information are relevant to that piece, and I have it for reference or, to communicate downstream. But then again, if it's a change order specifically and even a new product launch, I got to understand what to do with it and who needs to see it and what has to happen. to make this thing go through. So that's what we're trying to solve here. Finding my information, everything that's relevant to it, and know what to do with it. So that's what a PDM does. So if we start looking at, there's really 4 major steps here that I'm going to talk about here that are, our steps to excellence in managing data. And it begins with a close look at what you're doing today. So right now, there was Aberdeen went out and asked many companies what they do. And, many companies use file servers, local desktops to manage your CAD systems. Sometimes in their native CAD format, which is not easily accessible to anybody with a designer. If I have something in a CATIA format, the only people that can open it up and view it are people with CATIA seats. Not everybody in your company can see it. And about the same number of companies either have one or more or multiple PDM systems. So some companies actually have multiple PDM systems depending on who they're working with and the CAD system that it was developed to work with. So, but these are all kind of roadblocks to managing data better. It's time to consider what it would take to get a single integrated PDM or PLM system to take care of all this. So, got a quick poll question here.
Have you ever found more than one copy of a part and wondered which one is the current release? It looks like sometimes we find 3 to 4 in multiple directories, all different, is the most popular answer.
Yep. Yeah, that's not uncommon. People copy designs into a new folder, they change it, they because they're trying to make a similar product to the original one. And so there's one part, maybe it's a standard leg for my tables and I'm making a whole family of tables, but one has extra holes in it. And why does it have holes in it, not the other? Which one's the most current? It's hard to figure that out, and the other problem with these things is, I've even done it myself. I'm doing a test. I want to see if something's the right thing. So I go in and make a quick modification, look at it and go, yep, that's it. And I wasn't looking at it when I saved it, and I saved it under the test name, and I deleted the original part number. So my master file now is called 123.test. It's sometimes sloppy, and it's the way the world works. The other thing too is if I have a file system, if I move files around a bit, if I open up an assembly, I've had situations where I've opened up assembly, it's a 10-piece assembly, it can only find 8 parts because the other 2 were moved to another directory and doesn't know where they are. So it's kind of laborious to open up assemblies because sometimes you got to go search and find the data. So file systems are not always the best way to do it, and PDM systems help manage that. So what we want to do is look at the cost of most methods of managing CAD systems and other product release data. If you're in the 6% of the companies with designers spending more than 20% of the time on non-productive data and management tasks like searching, organizing, or locating files for other people, that can add up to 1 full day of work per week. That's a lot of time. Even if your designers are spending less time than this, when you consider how much you pay each designer, it's easy to see the cost of this non-productive data management task, what it affects your business. Here's an example of a productivity investment or improvement, our customer Sparktronics realized with Teamcenter Rapid Start. Designers can now concentrate on design rather than storing, searching, and retrieving data. And they estimated their time was reduced by 25% because they're not doing that anymore. So before I started talking about, it was about time. The old saying, time is money. What we want to do is talk about money. So now you can, if you can gain 25% more productivity from your engineering team, you're looking at 1 more day a week for them to drive innovative design and product development. So, it's time is money. If you're questioning your current systems and processes, it may be time to make a fresh start. The business of PDM has changed dramatically in the last few years, with a generational shift to redefine PDM beyond CAD data management. including capabilities to be more integrative and interoperative, whether it's across multiple CAD tools or integrating more components of the design process, like electrical and software. The single PDM system can be at the center of your business, helping everybody keep track of every bit of information that defines and describes the product through its development. Let's look at the differences between companies that use a single PDM system and other companies, from improvements in design, reuse, reduced development time, and time wasted. These are the type of improvements you can see in your business when you deploy a single PDM system. The key is to find the right size PDM, and we'll talk about that more, to meet your needs today and tomorrow. So let's take a look about what we mean by right size PDM. For starters, you can deploy it quickly and for quick payback with limited or no IT experience. So what we're talking about here is a version of Teamcenter that we have called Rapid Start, and it allows you to get going quick and fast. Excuse me. You need to consider the software capabilities. Are they right for you? A full-featured PDM system can support your whole business from product development to delivery with the flexibility to fit your peoples and processes. As your business grows, the right size PDM can grow with you. Scalability is key. You can add more people, locations, or collaborate more closely with customers or suppliers. The right size PDM is the choice for business excellence today and the future. So now let's take a closer look at our solution. Teamcenter Rapid Start, which is a right size PDM to get you started quickly and cost effectively today, then grow as your time needs, or as your needs grow tomorrow. So I'm going to go through 3 points here. The secrets to streamlining your product development with Teamcenter Rapid Start is a look at the PDM capabilities. But the best kept secret is our fast time to value. We'll show you how we can get into production with Teamcenter Rapid Start in just a few weeks for a fast return on investment and payback in less than 6 months. So let's begin to look at the improvements to engineering efficiency. With Teamcenter Rapid Start implementations, we typically see an increase in efficiency by over 20% with our customers. This comes from reclaiming non-value added time spent searching for data, recreating data, re-entering data. Teamcenter Rapid Start has powerful search capabilities to fight information overload. So how does it simplify search? Data and process information is connected in a transparent way that makes it easy to find what you need. But you don't have to know one piece of the information is connected to another. You don't have to know all the details. But the power of this connected information is behind everything you see. If you're looking at a part, you don't have to go off and search for the latest geometry, it's there. If you're editing a document, you don't have to wonder if it's been approved. You can clearly see its status and history. If you need to see the requirements driving the software change, it's there. You don't waste your time searching for the information. With easy, intuitive search capabilities that can be accessed from any web browser or any smart device, users can quickly find their data, the exact data they need, and also understand and see all the relational links of one piece of data to the other pieces. So this way they understand and have visibility to the entire breadth of data that defines this product or item, along with the visibility and any changes as they occur.
Ever wonder why we made that change to the part last year? Looks like the most popular answer is the program manager has an Excel list of changes.
Yep, that's quite common. You have, in fact, both those two answers in the beginning is you have two people that are supposed to know everything. Not everybody does. In the one case, you have the program manager who's supposed to know pieces, but he moves on from program to program, whether the Excel list is updated and correct, but that's how companies function. Then they have the graybeard of the company, the knowledge base, who knows everything. And the problem is he's been there for a while and he's retiring this year. So that knowledge leaves with him. So we want to make sure we capture that knowledge, and But some of the reasons why things get done aren't documented. They're just saying we went from A to B, but it doesn't always say why. We went to A to B because we found there was some cracks happening on production parts on the floor, so we made it stiffer, and that type of logic isn't always captured. So we want to make sure we capture that. So here's the video. Hopefully it's playing. Yes. Okay. All right. So went into Teamcenter. This is Teamcenter. I'm going in and just doing some searches. I did did everything. So I pulled up the assembly and I keep driving down. So here I'm actually getting into motors. I can actually pick 3 of them and do comparing like I do on a website, compare different models of TVs that I want to buy. And it can show me information. I can look at one, select one. As I select it, I have some information on the left about the part, but I have a 3D view of the part. I can see it. And this is all on a web page. This is all being broadcast to me by Teamcenter. Inside there's attachment. I got parts, I got drawings, I got Excel files, all reference information. I can see relationships between the parts, up level and down level, and who's touching it and who owns it as an assembly. So, you can see these are real quick button clicks and I can actually see this visually. Another way I can see it is there's a where used. I can see parent assemblies, contents, some other references to it. If I open up the assembly, I'm now in a bill of material mode, and I can actually see the bill of materials and the sub-assemblies that are inside it. As I stand on something on the left, on the right I see it. History, I got a revision A and a revision B. I want to know what's the difference between them. I can select both of them and hit compare. So I'm going to compare these two. It gives me the 2 bill of materials side by side, compares them. On the left, it shows me the differences. They're highlighted in the right with the little vertical bar, but if I stand on the one on the left, I see it showing up on the right. So I can actually see what's different. And, it's very powerful to know what's going on. I can go into 3D mode here. So here's my assembly. It's 3D. Remember, this is not CAD. This is Teamcenter. So you don't have to have a CAD seat to view this. You can query parts. If I stand on it on the picture, it finds it in the tree. So if I stand out on the tree, it finds it in the picture. So it's very nice for finding parts and seeing where they are and what their names are. I can do more things. I can do measuring. I can do sectioning. So here I'm just going to cut a section through this assembly so I can see what's inside it. A little slider bar there on the right. If I slide that back and forth, it'll cut through differently on the assembly. So I'm going to jump out of that and I'm going to go now into my workflow. So there was a task assigned to me as a workflow item. And I got to make some changes. So I get a description of what the change is. This is just a quick overview. So I can see it. I can actually see a markup that somebody created. All these pieces are inside my change order. So there's a change request, a change notice. This notice is actually the direction and the approval to do that. So I can see what's going on. I can actually go into the workflow. There's actually a workflow started for this change order. I can see who's done things. Everything in green's done. Yellow's where I'm at. There's a couple more tasks to go. Here's my engineering order. This is telling me information about revised parts, obsolete parts, new parts. So my task here was to make sure everything's in there. Yes, it is. Looks good. I now completed my task and away it goes to the next person in the workflow. So it's pretty simple working with these tasks and creating them, but everything's presented to you. So in this engineering order, all the information, the reference information, what's being changed, what got changed, I know all that, and everybody through the work order, as they go through it, actually sees all the exact same information. It's one single source of truth. Everything goes back to one master source of truth, which is Teamcenter. Now you see how easy it is to search and find data. Let's take a look at the difference that Teamcenter Rapid Start has made for PowerX. Their small team of 12 creates designs for configure to order and engineer to order products, which adds up to tens of thousands of designs across the industry. They deployed Teamcenter Rapid Start quickly to get control of their design and revision control issues, and they saw an immediate productivity gain. The productivity gain was vastly improved searchability. Going from a navigating folder structure to using the search box is much faster to find information. Productivity improvements are expected to be up to 20% of our engineering department's labor. So I talked about efficiency. Now I want to jump into the user interface, and how easy it is to access PDM inside your CAD system. I've been showing you Teamcenter outside of it, but what I'm going to do is the designers work inside CAD. They don't have to leave it. We're going to work from inside CAD and use Teamcenter, and we're going to talk about that. And this increased productivity, because in essence, what we're changing is the file open and file save dialog boxes to work with Teamcenter, and then we're going to, since they're talking to each other, not do anything that conflicts with either other software package, the CAD system or Teamcenter. So let's look into this. I'm actually going to show you integration with SolidWorks. We integrate with all the major CAD systems, but instead of going to a Siemens product, which Teamcenter is, I'm going to show you one of the competitor CAD systems just to show you how easy it is. So we're going to work with SolidWorks at first, but it's going to give the CAD user a full range of PDM capabilities. They can easily access the PDM functions such as search and reuse, structured workflows, change management processes, design relationships, and more within the native CAD environment. To help minimize designer productivity or maximize designer productivity, the integration enables designers to create, save, search, and edit objects, including drawings, parts, and assemblies. Users can selectively update in-session models to later revisions or later versions or revisions without reloading their entire assembly. During the design process, the Teamcenter environment tracks and manages the creation of new product revisions or version updates for work in progress. As a result, designers spend less time finding the correct versions of their data. To further improve designer productivity, the Teamcenter integration supports bi-directional transfer and synchronization of model properties that are helpful when establishing the product structure. Teamcenter will automatically generate and save a neutral file outputs like PNG files, pictures, PDFs, and JT. JT files are an ISO standard CAD neutral format used for 3D visualization. When I was showing you Teamcenter earlier and it had what looked like a CAD interface, that was a JT file working inside Teamcenter. It was a very lightweight file that's used. What's great about that is if you have files in different CAD systems, in different CAD formats, you can build assembly in Teamcenter using those files because we take everything and put them into JT. That assembly can be viewed, interrogated, marked up by anybody, and shared with the team. Now I'll show you a video to show you how some of this functionality is done in action. So here we have SolidWorks. You can see I got SolidWorks up and running. I have this assembly. I'm going to do a quick change to it. All right. And I got this slide out menu that is a SolidWorks standard. And there's a Teamcenter tab on here. So this is my Teamcenter integration. And we're just going to see what we do. So here's that same interface that you saw earlier. So I'm going to do a search. And in this case, my change, I want to add a battery to this drill. So I'm going to search for battery. All the batteries that I have in there, but I can see I got a battery pack, that's the one. I'm dragging and dropping it over, and I'm adding it to my SolidWorks design. As soon as I go to add it in, it goes, oh, you got to change your assembly. Yep, I'm going to change the assembly. I'm going to make a change to it. So I'm adding the battery, just making a thing, and I'm checking out the assembly, and nobody can work on it but me right now. So I assembled it, and now I need to make a drawing. So I have no drawing for this assembly. So I'm just going to start and create a drawing. Got a frame here. I'm going to add some views. I got the one in here. I'm going to real quickly zip past this and add all the views. And as soon as I go to make a change to this drawing, it says, hey, you're making a drawing. It's a new thing. What is it? So it's talking to Teamcenter because I made a new drawing and need to know what to do with it. So here I'm going to save my checkouts, and the dialog box to Teamcenter comes up. It says, do you want to change it? Maybe to revision B or whatever the case may be. So it's actually doing it. And now this is in Teamcenter. In my workflow, I actually say when you check it in, make a PDF. So in my attachments, there's now a PDF of that drawing I just created. So that's an automated process that happens. The PDF's automatically created. So, let's take a look at how Teamcenter helps you manage change inside SolidWorks. With direct access to change management, there's no need for a secondary application. Change notifications can be delivered directly within the SolidWorks application, and all the relevant data necessary and included for the change. It streamlines the change process and improves user productivity. The user will be able to see the engineering change order and the BOM all inside SolidWorks. The engineering change order is going to say what the original request was. Maybe I had a salesperson or somebody on the floor saying, we need to make this stronger or thicker or whatever the case may be. The actual change notification that says this is what to do, and then the actual results of doing it. So we can go through that. So here he is, I got an inbox that tells me I have things to do. Here's my change order. So I need to add a handle. That's what my change is. I'm going to add a handle, this electric drill. So the engineering order shows me the parts that are in there. So I have some reference data. The reference data is this assembly that I'm working on. So I can see where it is. I can see it in 3D, instead of looking just at the bottom. So the handle's being mounted to this piece. So that one piece I need to do some work on. And what I'm going to do is I want to add a handle, but I have a non-CAD related item I want to put on there. When I put my handle on, I want to add some Loctite to it, to make sure it doesn't fall off. So I'm adding a item inside the bill of material, which is Loctite, but it's not really drawn. So I'm going to add it as a child to the assembly and just add it. So it's noted that we're using Loctite. So now I'm adding a non-visible item to my assembly. And now what I want to do is take that assembly and then add the handle. So I'm going to look through here and there's some new parts, which is the handle. Somebody already put that in here because I used that on another model. When I drag and drop it and it says, okay, I can put it in. I go to put it in, it says, oh, you got to change the assembly, and it checks out the assembly for me with that. And I just make a comment of what I'm doing for that assembly when I make this change, and I'm adding the handle. So I assemble it with the magic of a demo. It just shows up in the right spot. And now what I want to do is save it. So I'm saving it. So it's going to go into Teamcenter and basically say, oh, you want to update this? Yep. Hey, there was a drawing for that. So let's check out the drawing and update the drawing too. All right. Since it's only an assembly, we didn't change anything else to it. If I go into my assembly drawing for that bill of material, that's the drawing I had earlier that I made just a couple minutes ago, is now updated with the handle on it because it's all integrated together. So this new release of the assembly has the handle on it and it's showing up in the bill of material on the drawing. You don't have to do anything else. That was so simple and easy to do. So here's Briggs and Stratton describes the value of Teamcenter inside SolidWorks. They're a SolidWorks user and they use Siemens Teamcenter. Teamcenter is a fairly advanced data management tool, much more advanced than anything that SolidWorks user would be used to. But it's very easy to use because it's embedded right within SolidWorks, so they can get to it very easily. So if we start talking about SolidWorks, we have integrations with the major CAD systems you can see there. But in addition, for other design, today's products are all now electronic and everything. So we have harness design with AutoCAD Electrical and Mentor Capital harnesses. Then we got, the electronics, the printed circuit boards. There's different companies out there that do that. All that stuff is integrated into Teamcenter, just like I showed you. So, there's integrations for each one of these CAD systems up here, and we have electrical systems. So let's see what some of that looks like. So here I have 4 integrations. On the upper left, I got CATIA. You can see my interface there for Teamcenters going in there. There's that same handle we were just talking about. I'm going to go back to Teamcenter, to CATIA in there, and actually drag and drop that in. So you can see I'm in my native CATIA environment, and I'm working in it. I go down to Mentor Capital, It has the same thing there for wire harnesses. I go to the right, Altium Designer, which is all printed circuit boards. And you can see here, I'm checking things into Teamcenter and Autodesk Inventor. They all have similar looks and feels for the Teamcenter portion of it, but the rest of it is the CAD system and how it works. So it is, truly integrated, and they, like I said, they talk to each other, and they don't allow, each software doesn't allow the other one to do something that's illegal by the other one's rules. So we start talking about co-design, and earlier I started talking about JT. Every time I check a file in, I can create a JT file and store it in Teamcenter. It's a lightweight, flexible format for 3D data. The 3D geometry is available to all. You don't have to have that CAD system. You just have to have access to Teamcenter, and you get it. It's an ISO standard. What's nice about that is I can have an assembly like the one on the right. I got multiple CAD things. So I'm doing the stuff in gray. I have a partner doing the parts in yellow. I have a supplier doing stuff in red. And I have another division that we own doing the stuff here in, I'm sorry, this supplier is doing it in blue. In red is being done by another division of ours. They're using a different CAD system, right? Different design teams, different location. They're all using different CAD systems. What's nice is I pull up mine. When I pull up mine, let's say I'm doing mine inside SolidWorks, these things come across as JT files and I have them as reference information. If the supplier is doing theirs in NX, my parts come in as a JT to his, and he can see it and talk to it, and make sure everybody's working together on the same assembly. So what's nice about Teamcenter is if it's another CAD system's version, creates a JT and it uploads that JT into your native CAD system, and then you can see everybody else's part and you don't care where it came from. This is true with step files. If you download things from, manufacturers, if you're doing mechanical or manufacturing things and you're getting hydraulic cylinders, stuff like that, there's step files you can download. You can put those in there and it works with them. In addition to the CAD systems and the electrical manufacturing tools, we also integrate with Microsoft Office. So you can see here, we got Microsoft Word on the left. There's a tab. The tab looks like this. Here's Excel. So the major Microsoft Office products, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, all have this tab, and I can open, save, check in, check out, see what's on my work list of things to do. I have direct access to Teamcenter, and I can access and create data and put it in. So here, let's just see that in action. Oops, I'm sorry, I forgot this question was here. So do you ever wonder if your support documents were updated for the new product change?
Looks like our top answer is not sure how or if it gets done.
Yeah, I've seen designs where there's a DFMEA done for the initial design and 10 changes to the design later, they still have only the original DFMEA done. What's great about Teamcenter is I can actually put a workflow saying, hey, get the DFMEA done. You go into Word or Excel or however you're doing that, create it, update it, and put it in. But it actually gets routed to that person or group, or even if it's myself, to remind me to do it, that it's a task to get done and it can get done. So this is really cool about Teamcenter is through the workflow process and the integration to the Microsoft Office products, I can create those documents, put them into Teamcenter and update them. I actually know a business development team, sales team, that keeps track of their proposals that they send out to their customers. And internally between the different groups of the team that are working on some of these proposals, which could be, 50, 100 pages long, they use Teamcenter to manage it. And all they're doing is manage Word and Excel files. So it's a very powerful tool. So here we have Word. So I'm in my Teamcenter tab. I'm going to open up a document. I'm going to go into this little dialog box is a Microsoft Office thing. So here's a document that I have, and I'm checking it out. I'm working on it. So there's that master mover assembly, and I'm making changes to the documentation that goes with it. So I just changed some text here. I go back to Teamcenter. I do a save. It's going to ask me if I want to, it's checked out. You want to check it in with this save? Yep. It's talking to Teamcenter. Teamcenter now has the original version and this version, and I can see it. there was a workflow for this. I'm going to assign it to it. I'm going to do a production release of this new version of it. And this is what's going to go out in production as the document that goes inside the box for the master mover when it's shipped. So you notice there, that was real quick. I just hit new workflow process and it puts it into a workflow. And it's that simple. We can create the workflows. One of the things with Teamcenter is you have authorities and only some people can do that, or you can have everybody in your company be able to do that. So, now you've seen many different ways that people can access Teamcenter from a web browser, inside CAD, or Office applications. So let's take a look at Crone Cranes, a customer that successfully integrated mechanical and electrical design in Teamcenter. So what they say is, in addition to NX, we have Autodesk Inventor, SolidWorks, and then from the 2D side, we have AutoCAD. And all the data is used throughout the different locations. So we have integrated all the mechanical CAD solutions to Teamcenter. And on the electrical CAD side, they're focused on Zuken. So that's another software package that's totally integrated. And they all talk to each other and everybody can see it. So we talked about the efficiency, the intuitive user interface. Now we're going to talk about some of the ROI and time to value. If we start looking at pre-configured deployment of Teamcenter, which is Rapid Start, and I like to equate it as, you buy Excel. Excel is great, but when you buy it, it's a blank worksheet. It's just a bunch of white cells staring at you. Somebody has to develop the spreadsheet before you can really use it. That's what Teamcenter Rapid Start is. It's Teamcenter that's filled out a little bit so you can use it. And it's with best practices on types of work, workflows, how to organize parts, how to organize users and their authority levels. And it's put into one little small package and it's pre-configured so it's easy to install. And so the goal here is, instead of a standard deployment, I want to do a quick, fast deployment on any PDM system. And since it's pre-configured, it's faster than most. And the goal of this is to reap the rewards faster. So I got reduced costs going in and I get faster time to value. So here's an example of what we mean by fast payback. This is just an example ROI for an existing SolidWorks customer that will be adding Teamcenter Rapid Start. Payback is based on the McKinsey report that states people spend 2 hours a day looking for data. Considering the additional benefits Teamcenter can have, this number is conservative. The implementation is a small business installation of Teamcenter Rapid Start, which is just one of the delivery options. There are other on-site and cloud-based options that can change the formula and rebalance the upfront cost. But the bottom line is we can deliver PDM to fit your needs quickly and cost-effectively. So let's look at PowerX. They deploy Teamcenter Rapid Start quickly to get control of their design and revision controls. It only takes a small IT budget and resource to manage the implementation. Here, Teamcenter Rapid Start was actually the right size for a small company with one engineer and one IT guy. They've been able to support the initial Teamcenter Rapid Start implementation and expansions. So now that you've seen how Teamcenter Rapid Start delivers the right size PDM to drive better business growth, let's talk about your growth for tomorrow. All right. What will my business needs be in the next 5 years? Who else do I need to include? Do I need to include purchasing? Do I need to include the manufacturing team, the shipping and receiving docs? Can we improve resource planning and scheduling? What other processes can we automate? And how can we improve collaboration between partners? Can we better manage and track requirements? All these answers are yes when I go from PDM, move up to the middle point between PDM and PLM, and eventually I can get into PLM. So it's the right size tool depending on what your business needs are today. That's why an integrated bill of material becomes so important. Often the challenges are a multi-domain design process that's generating an incomplete bill of material, a lack of shared understanding of the product configuration and all its variants, and disconnected manufacturing teams that are not able to access the information early so they can properly prepare and optimize their processes. The Aberdeen Groups clearly states that those who fail to adopt good bill of material management processes risk adding to inefficiencies and delays. So if you can keep doing it the way you're at, but you're taking a lot of risk. Organizations are trying to adapt to the growing complexity of their design products and to look to address the challenges of bill of material management between CAD, electrical, and software. How do you manage all that? Teamcenter Rapid Start can get you up and running with PDM quickly by offering a single installation process for server and clients, resulting in a fully configured environment that includes standard organization and roles, pre-configured database, workflows, reports, a robust security model, and ready to use as soon as you complete the installation. Ongoing updates and support for simple, fast, and effective operation. You can always expand to Teamcenter from Rapid Start to Teamcenter. You know, the beauty of Teamcenter Rapid Start, it's a pre-configured version of Teamcenter. Once you're up and running with PDM, you can choose to expand Teamcenter at any time with add-on modules. But once you're a Rapid Start customer, you're always a Rapid Start customer. You keep the pre-configurations and special capabilities, including workflows, users, groups, roles, item types, and reports as you move forward. So there's no loss as you move forward. You're just adding more capability. So in review, I'm showing you so you can unlock the secrets to streamline product development with a pre-configured PDM solution that supports multiple CADs and electronic CAD tools, establishes a single source of product-related data, provides a growth path from PDM to PLM, deploys quickly and cost-effectively for fast ROI, and requires minimal IT support to maintain. Any questions? Turn my video on here.
Hey, Curtis did a nice job on that presentation. Yes, we do have some questions for you.
Good.
The first one, our team uses SolidWorks, but we just acquired another company using NX. How can I work with other CAD files besides SolidWorks?
Well, let's see. What's really nice about this tool is it's multi-CAD. So they can stay in their CAD system, you can stay in yours. The Teamcenter integration allows both systems to reside inside Teamcenter, and through JT, I can pull the NX files into SolidWorks or vice versa. So it's nice because I don't have to decide that. Teamcenter manages for me. And if I go into SolidWorks, I see the NX files as JT files because Teamcenter serves it up to me that way. And when I go into NX, the SolidWorks file comes over as JT. So I can see everybody's part. I can design to them. I can design services line to line, line up holes, all that good stuff. And they don't have to change. So it's a great way to manage it. And many companies do that because they have different requirements and different customers. And when they buy companies, they have legacy systems.
Very nice. Is there a viewer for Teamcenter Rapid Start for departments and users that don't use SolidWorks, such as purchasing and manufacturing?
Yeah. Well, there's two options for people to use Teamcenter. It can be hosted through the CAD systems, you know, or the ECAD system or Microsoft Office, or through the web browser. I was showing you that web browser that right in the beginning, and it's actually a web browser that shows up inside these integrations. But anybody can use that. I was talking earlier, you were looking at that 3D model. That was not CAD, that was the viewer inside Teamcenter. So anybody can use that and they have access to it. So if purchasing needs to see your part, they don't have to know how to open up NX or SolidWorks or CATIA to view it and query it. They can do it all inside Teamcenter. So that's great because if you don't use it, I can still see it and look at it.
Okay, great. Another question, if we already have Teamcenter, can we add in integrations for Mentor?
Oh yeah, you can add any of these integrations in at a time. If you had SolidWorks, you can add NX, you can add Mentor, you can add Altium, Autodesk, Autodesk Electrical. You can add all those integrations in and just use them as that person needs it. So if I have an electrical team that uses the Mentor products, they can grab it and use it.
Great. Can we open AutoCAD design files in SolidWorks and store in a native format?
No. So I was talking earlier, you have the JT files, so I could have my SolidWorks assembly and have these JT files, which are my Autodesk products. If I edit it while in SolidWorks, it now becomes a SolidWorks file. I lose the AutoCAD. I have to go back to AutoCAD to keep it as an AutoCAD product. But it does give me the option to make it a SolidWorks file and edit it.
Okay, good. And the last question we've got, can you tell us the benefits? Yeah, you got a lot of them. Can you tell us the benefits that Teamcenter Rapid Start has over the built-in PDM that's included in SolidWorks?
Well, there's a few differences, right? The data management and automated processes are accessible to people outside of SolidWorks. I was talking earlier about purchasing, right? They can actually see it. You know, your manufacturing team can see it, you know, so you don't have to be a SolidWorks user. Or, you know, maybe you have part of your team doing stuff in Mentor, as we were just talking about the electrical Mentor pads or something like that. They can see it too, but they don't have to have that software. So it's nice, everybody can see it. Another thing, Teamcenter includes visualization, you know, and so I can unlock the CAD properties and share it. So that JT file is a dumb solid. There's no intellectual property embedded in it. There's no attributes. There's no mechanism. If I have like a motor assembly, the internal portions of the motors aren't visible. So I can share that with teams, including suppliers and potentially people bidding to build stuff for you. And then lastly, Teamcenter Rapid Starts offers a growth path. So, you know, if I use these single PDM systems, I'm stuck with what they're offering. Here I can actually grow into PLM. So anybody can use it. I can share it with people that don't have CAD systems and lock it down. I don't have to give them the intelligence. I don't have to give them the full CAD file. And then lastly, what did I just say? Oh, a growth path. I can go into PDM or PLM. Sorry.